Take a look at stories making headlines in Nigerian newspapers now. I have with me in the studio, certainly Dr. will be joining us, but I have with me Dr. Dayo Kayode. He is a political technocrat and he is joining us. And certainly my colleague Veronica is also here and will be doing justice to all of this.
Absolutely.
Dr. Kayode, it's nice to have you this morning.
Good morning. It's nice sitting in between the two of you. But let me put it to you, is it possible for us to now have a 34-year-old president in Nigeria, especially a lady? As it just happened in Finland.
No, of course, anything is possible.
Anything is
the lady will resemble you.
Really?
Everything is possible. We're getting there gradually. That's how it is. All right, let's begin with Nigerian News Direct now this morning. Sowore is a person of interest to DSS, as the presidency is saying this, and that is what you see on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. From there, let's go to the Blueprint newspaper now. Please don't reopen borders. RIFAN begs federal government. Now, RIFAN is the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria. Those against closure, not true Nigerians. We can meet rice demands at Xmas. That's the millers, rice millers are saying this. And consumers thumb down local commodity rebagging. All right, that's what you see all on the front page of the Blueprint. Daily Trust is next now. Fuel subsidy gobs 1.5 trillion naira. Wow. Okay. That's Daily Trust there. Veronica has the rest.
All right. Let's move to the front page of the Daily Times now. Leadership crisis rocks African Union. Sacked envoy to U.S. denies allegations of misconduct. Accuses chairperson of witch hunt. And on the front page of the Vanguard, Sowore's re-arrest. Respect rule of law, U.S. tells federal government. Presidency backs DSS, says no government will condone open call for destabilization. DSS operative apologized to Justice Ojukwu for invading court. Falana. Lawyers in Kaduna lambast DSS for invading court. And finally, we have on the front page of The Guardian, government under fire for withholding unemployment data from public. NBS blames poor funding for delay. Its plot to lie to Nigerians, says NECA ULC. Unemployment situation has worsened. Mike, that's all on the newspaper headlines now.
All right, Dr. Kayode, I guess one issue that is on the front burner from the past few days, especially Friday, is the Sowore and versus DSS issue. Now, 2-3 decades ago, no one has an idea of what the DSS, SSS looks like. But
was it SSS then or NSO?
Well, it was SSS. We have always known
it was
NSO was so many years ago. But in the recent past, like 10 years ago or something, it was SSS. And then nobody, in fact, you don't have an idea who is behind it, what do they look like. But since the past 4 or 5 years now, you see them around. Now, talk to us. What you've been watching. You've been watching the drama unfold. What comes to your mind when you see your country making headlines across the world, especially agents of government, you know, carrying out the processes of what they are supposed to do in a way that is not according to international standards, as some people will put it?
My brother, yes, it's a show of shame, but the situation, when you look at it properly and critically, you're going to find out that it's a two-way sword, the way I see it. The DSS or SSS, or whichever name we are calling it now, for me, in the first instance, I've been asked to release Sowore a long time ago.
Which they did eventually.
After the judge came out with a kind of
an ultimatum.
Do we call it subpoenaed? I think the learned people will call it probably subpoenaed or whatever.
Subpoena,
yeah. Now the issue is, why did you not release this guy since he has been given bail and he has satisfied all the bail conditions? And I think on Thursday I was discussing this somewhere when they were giving red alert about what is about to happen in the country. I said, look, release Sowore, release El Zazaki, release Dasuki, release Bakari, and some other ones that the court had granted them bail. But if you go back to what happened in the court, which I watched, rather than me coming up with conclusions, we can ask ourselves some questions as to what led to that situation. Number one, has Sowore's issue been sorted out in the court at that time? We saw Sowore running from outside inside the court. Is it supposed?
It was said that it was after the proceedings in court that all of the drama ensued.
That's what I'm saying. Was it supposed to run back inside that court? Because at that time, another case had been called by the judge. Another proceeding was already going on in the court. Was it also supposed to run back to that place? 3, if it has been released from that court, is it lawful for DSS to rearrest somebody that had been released? Is it lawful with, what do they call it now? With another paper? Is it lawful?
Well, the point
do you understand?
We just had a lawyer not long ago, and he said, well, if fresh cases come up, why not? In the eyes of the law.
So all those things came up last week saying that there were, some attempts by some persons to cause anarchy, chaos, and carry out, protests across the country.
All those things need to put together for us to be able to have a proper evaluation on that situation. Again, in the first instance, was Sowore hinging his revolution now on that statement he made, day of rage? What is the meaning of day of rage? Why should there be day of rage in Nigeria? Bearing in mind that, one, is sort of, during Jonathan, genuflected with this particular present government.
But
excuse me.
Dr. Kayode,
he later contested. Listen, he later contested.
He has the right to move.
Yes, I know.
But Dr. Kayode,
if as a presidential aspirant against this government, so and you are now coming out after losing that election, saying day of rage. Are you now trying to say you want to take over the government forcefully?
Well, but in my own opinion, Dr. Kayode, yes, in my own opinion, all that now has been overtaken by events.
It cannot, because when you are looking at it, you have to first of all look at where it started.
Is this what makes him a person of interest, and is this how it should be handled?
But then, if somebody wants to, there is no government that you want to sit down somewhere whereby somebody is trying to torpedo that government, and then you'll be looking.
Yeah, but
that
all of this,
be a person of interest.
But all of these things happened, all the statements and all of these issues you're raising now happened before he was arrested.
They are same issues.
And he was arrested. He was on that ground.
They
said, okay, the court has granted. So all that has been overtaken by events right now.
When he was granted bail, perhaps government now decide to go back, reassess everything that has happened, and say, okay, yes, we still want to rearrest you. Is it lawful or not unlawful to do that? It's lawful. But the only thing I had, the only thing I had with DSS, which I was telling somebody in Abuja over the weekend, was DSS, one, played into their hands. If I were in DSS and I was the one that is leading those people there to rearrest him, I wouldn't even come inside the gates of the High Court.
All right.
I will stay somewhere like 10, 15 meters.
All of this has happened now.
Yes.
We need to move forward because our image before the international community is also being affected by this.
It's appalling.
How do we deal with these issues?
Like I said, the day that didn't happen, I was discussing with somebody in the night. I said, I will expect DSS to also come out with their own side of the story.
They came out with a statement.
Yeah, they came out with. I said, now, I will now want the president to go from there, from the statement of DSS, and then also address the nation on that particular issue. And then,
but wouldn't that be too much? Because the point there is, the DSS is a creation of law. By itself, it has its own identity, it has its own responsibility, national responsibility. Do we need the president to come and address the nation on what the DSS has carried out?
Sure, because the nation needs an explanation from the president. Because when you're talking about leadership, that's what we call responsibility. The whole responsibility is still on the president, whatever happens. And most especially, DSS is also within the presidency. So I will expect the president to also, or either or through his one of his aides on political matters, on social matters, on wherever, to also come up and say, okay, this is what the president is saying as regards
they
this.
have made a statement.
But they made a statement, and that's why we have the issue of Sowore, a person of interest in the DSS.
I still prefer that statement of that DSS man, the PhD man, than the one that the other lady came up with. Because that guy in DSS really analyzed it, whether he's saying the truth or not, is now for public opinion. Do you understand? But at least...
But we cannot leave things like this to public opinion.
There's no doubt about it. What are we doing now? It's about public opinion. Either you like it or not. But then another thing is this. I think Nigerians too should be careful the way we cast aspersions to either side of the divide of what is happening now. Because either we like it or not, the international community is watching. Mark you, look at it the following day. Sowore's wife and the senator in the US had an image. But then I think the president should, one way or the other, sit down with the American embassy here and then see how we can sort out the whole issue.
All right, we have to leave it here now.
It's a very naughty issue that we need to be diplomatic in sorting out.
All right, it's also an internal issue within Nigeria to handle and all of that.
It is, but then we are not living alone. We're also living within an international community.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Dayo Kayode, thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you. And my colleague, Veronica.